So you can see the sled is bungeed into this catch from sliding. You have a security chain here attached to the sled. You have more bungees here attached to the sled and to the trailer, either side. You've got bungees over there attached to the sled and on that side. Then in the front you have another security chain that's attached from the sled over the front of the trailer bar to the back of the sled. And then right here you have the sled locked into, again, the top of the trailer. All of these are welded attachments and so on. And you can see that he will not move. The sled itself is flexible, mind you. The metal is flexible, but he's not moving anywhere under any circumstances, not sliding at all, front and back, and I've put some weight into it. And you can see the utility boxes, and we have stuff like the fins in there, and rope, and tarp, and bungees, and so on. A sleeping bag underneath. There's grill stuff and so on. And here you have the kayak, and the kayak has its life vest jacket, paddle. It has its whistle down in here, and its compass, and here we have the night light, because you need a lantern, and you'll see he's a nice little waterproof lantern. And you have your room for your bottle, and back in here you have a little waterproof box and a flag with insect repellent and mosquito netting for the head, and you have a weight with rope wrapped around it. So everything here is in order, and here is that front reinforced bow type thing. I guess it's further than thighs. It would be around where the calves are on the lower leg, but strapped into that sled in the middle of it, I bet I could get something going if I were to put a little rib in there of metal that would hold the bottom, with another 1/2-inch hole. And of course I would need some kind of masthead that would fit. Let's see if this guy would fit, because I've got 1/2-inch pipe, but I might want a solid piece of metal rod, something like around 1/2 inch. Oh yeah, I think this guy would fit real good. Yep, I do believe it'd fit real good. In fact, he's too small. I think a 1/2-inch pipe would work just about right. Maybe with that metal rod inside it, because it's not going to be towing that much. Think little. Yeah, just think little. Anyway, you can see that this nest, now this bar I use right here to prop the van back doors open, so that the wind doesn't, so you've got a room with a view if you want from the van, if you're camping and so on, without it being, just spread totally wide open where you can't see, the doors and so forth. So I'm going to use him to mount the kayak underneath this sled in sling type fashion, and then tie the kayak into the trailer also and transport him that way. I may take the bicycle that you can see in the van up at the front of the van. First, I guess we should take a whole look at the van. The van, you see coolers. I've got a big cooler at the front. In the front, it's supposed to be hold a week's worth of ice. And you can see I can snooze in there. And then you see the bicycle in the front of the van, under which are solar panels and cooler. But this gives me a lot more room with the kayak out of the van, which is kind of nice. Again, we have this nice speaker system, because the trailer is, as you recall, also geared to do movies from. Screen built to sit on top of that trailer. That would be without the sled, but you know, one can always hang the sled on the inside of the trailer at an angle and put the kayak back in the van when one wants to do a movie. So this is turning into a really rather extraordinary multitasking media get out the public notice word that there are problems in the body politic, and they need to be addressed by a jury. There's the air mattress, and you know, I can float on the water on the wet dock and sit on the top on the dry dock. I'm assuming sit on the top on the dry dock, because as I said, the metal is flexible, but it's made to be such. And if I do want it to sit higher, I can always put more floats on the bottom. You'll note that I've put in plugs in this where one would attach the nipples to put the next row of floats. And I can bring them down straight under, or bring them down and at an angle to the side. I could put several rows of floats if I wanted and had enough money for it. But for current needs, this should, as I said, carry anyway 400 or 500 pounds. Maybe not totally dry, but if you want to be dry, you're not supposed to be in the water, right? And I could always pull it up on the bank, and I've got myself a little bed with a tent. So it's a pretty cool setup. I'm really quite pleased with the way this is turning out. Signing off for the moment.